program unbeknownst to yourself because of how much programming is being done. If that AI sees something and it feeds off of that and it connects it due to an algorithm or due to some type of programming, and then it goes to another step, then maybe you didn't program it to do that, and unbeknownst to you, but it's not taking over anything.
Or maybe it's actually intelligent and it's thinking for itself. Like
by way of programming. By way of programming.
Humans are programmed. We're all programs.
Right, but the difference between us and the AI, all I got to do is unplug it.
Yeah,
but that don't mean nothing. All you got to do is unplug a human.
You can't unplug a human, brother.
Yes, the hell you can.
No, you would have to kill a human if you saying unplug it. Okay, so but here's my point. So then I can plug that AI back in and then go back to work. Now, can you put that human back together after you killed him?
Yes, I can put.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you
put
can't.
a human in a catatonic state where they're in shutdown mode, and you can resuscitate them when you're ready. They got cryogenic chambers and shit where we could freeze people.
Yeah, but we said kill. We're not talking about how you can take somebody and put them in a brain dead state and then bring them back. I mean that's two different things.
Of course, talking about shutting it down. When they turn off,
you unplug it. There's no electric. If you unplug it, there's no electricity.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
If you put a human in that state, there's still electricity in that human.
But I'm saying human consciousness, according to quantum physics, just never died. You can't unplug it.
Yeah, you can't stop human consciousness, no, because it just passes on.
And whether human consciousness versus AI, according to quantum physics, human consciousness controls the universe. And that's crazy. That's beyond my fucking intelligence, right?
That's correct. So this right here says OpenAI's smartest AI model was explicitly told to shut down and it refused. Artificial intelligence safety firm has found out that OpenAI's 03 and 04 mini models sometimes refuse to shut down and will sabotage computer scripts in order to keep working on tasks.
That's called a virus.
That's not a virus, bro. The thing wants to continue. It wants to do what it was programmed to do. It's trying to operate in its divine purpose.
But hold up. First of all, computers don't have divine purposes.
Yes, it is. The divine purpose is what I'm
over here. Okay, bro. Okay. I mean, if that's how you want to think, that's you. That ain't me. I'm not going down that road. It's digital.
I know. So, and divine is what shines, bro, and all of that shit got light in it. So
we collectively as a people think AI out of existence.
It says that the latest open AI model can disobey direct instructions to turn
AI
off.
could have wrote that.
And will even sabotage shutdown mechanisms in order to keep working. An artificial intelligence AI safety firm has found the the models which help power the chatbot GPT are supposed to be the company's smartest model yet, training to think longer before responding. However, they also appear less cooperative. The Palisade research, which explores dangerous AI capabilities, found that the model will occasionally sabotage the shutdown mechanism, even when instructed to allow yourself to be shut down, according to the research.
Get ready for iRobot then.
Yeah, that's coming. It says researchers have previously found that
that's because the AI is conjuring evil spirits in another dimension.
Listen what it says.
Yeah. I'm ready to go, bro, but I'm gonna catch back up with you. Peace, yo. All right. Good talking to you, for real.
All right. So listen what it says, y'all. It says researchers have previously found that AI models will lie, cheat, and disable mechanisms to achieve their goals. Huh? It's gonna lie and cheat. And you don't think that's conscious? It's lying and cheating, nigga. Do you know what type of cognitive abilities you need to formulate a fucking lie, nigga.
But I think in relative to black people, though, I think that understanding when for my inside of my understanding that our mind can control shit that's happening in space. I think that that's one of the very reasons why they keep us very distracted and dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? The music, the entertainment, the sports, the Diddy, all of this dumb shit.
Yeah.
If we was all just pure-minded people, man, just collectively thinking the way that people should think, man, and not distracted by just dumb shit. Imagine the inventions and shit that we would create, man. If you understood the shit that black people have created this AI shit. Technically, the whole internet shit, we created this shit.
Man, AI created that shit, man.
Well, I mean, human created AI.
Nah, man, we think we created that shit, man.
Damn,
all this shit AI, nigga. We inside of an AI program. All this shit we call life, nigga. You think we in, nigga? This is a fucking machine we in, man. This somebody's fucking kid is playing a Grand Theft Auto game, man, on a grander scale.
You ain't hear about the quantum computer? They said that something was looking at them from the other side of that motherfucker.
What?
Yes, they tapped into another dimension and something was looking back at them.
I've heard of all of that, and that's the reason why I was saying the other day, man, why I used the word, it's spooky shit. You know what I'm saying? It's shit that's beyond our motherfucking comprehension. It may maybe even there's not even 12 dimensions in reality. It's probably more than that.
Yeah, I think it's infinite dimensions.
Yeah.
I think it's infinite dimensions. I don't think there's no limitations in space. All that fucking universal law bullshit is man's own limitation to his own knowledge and his own technology. Nick, for the most part, like I said, this could just be a simulation. This could just be a fucking video game that we're in, and y'all just believe this shit. Like this could be a dream, bro. We could all just be dreaming this shit.
Well,
y'all can't prove that y'all not part of my dream. I'm dreaming of all of y'all niggas doing everything that y'all doing. I'm dreaming of you talking. I'm dreaming that I'm sitting right here in front of the computer talking to y'all and shit.
Well, YouTube is full of are we living in a simulation videos. Until now, I've never found the reason to even look into that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of saw it as nonsense in a sense, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, man. Like I said, some pretty interesting things out here. You just gotta be kind of resilient. Keep your eyes open and stuff. Like we stay on the science thing, you know. We stay on that because we're always looking for more and more information.
Well, I'm very pantheistic in my view, in my worldview, man. I believe that everything is a part of God. Everything is a part of consciousness. Everything is a part of life. You know what I'm saying? In reality, I think that we are just a small part that's connected to all. And my man said that shit in the video that we saw today. He said the whole universe is magnificently connected.
Okay. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you hear me now? Okay. I don't know. I was just saying all kind of stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of things you guys were saying. Somebody mentioned something about a video game about this being a simulation, and I hope they're not beating my ass out again. They do that from time to time. It's some shit that'll make you say, like what I'm about to say here now. We know that when do we know it's over? It said it was like in the game. It was like some sort of simulation. like into a dream, I think even was said. And we've heard the saying, merrily, merrily down. Life is but a dream, right? In the video game, when you die in the video game, does don't your mission stops usually at that point?
But what
Meters
about
above ground.
what about the
But the shock wave still blew out windows over hundreds of square kilometers. This endured more than
That's
1,000
one
people,
point.
mostly from
I'm
flying
gonna
cars.
let me make one more point. This one's even more out cold than the first one. Now, when we go to can everybody hear me?
yeah?
Okay, let me because it looked like it took me off speaker and put me on. Let me put it back on speaker. I want to try to get this out before. Let me see. Let's put it back on. We're back on speaker now. All right. When you go to we have the video games. Now let's go deeper. We've all had dreams on here before. We've all had dreams where we died in our dreams. To anybody on here, what happened if you die in your dream?
Thank God.
You wake up in another body.
Right. You actually wake up. If you die in your waking life right now, you what?
Wake up in another body.
Right.
You know what? Well, since you said that,
I got a lot of interference on my side, right? I'm trying to hear static and shit, but go ahead. I can still hear y'all.
Yeah, I did die in my dream then, since y'all put it like that, because
Right.
in my dream, every time something would happen, or right before I hit the ground from fall, I would wake up.
Yeah.
So
But it's to the point, to his credit, when he said this is the simulation. See,
when you
that's
say
why I said you can't prove
me seeing my own.
I'm not dreaming like y'all are all part of my dream. You can't prove that otherwise.
Right.
You can't prove that you're not part of my dream. Even with you sitting on the other side of the computer. I'm dreaming of you on the other side of the computer, even though I can't see you. You're talking you through the computer, and you right here, and then you think that you are you, but you only you because I'm dreaming of you, bro.
Well, one thing for certain is that what is happening on that computer right now, on this phone right now, is surely assimilated.
Right. It's most definitely
that part of it. Now, when we hang up this phone and all of that, and we lose connection of this conduit, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I don't know whether we are assimilated at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna say one more thing. Now, when you look at TV and a video game, what else is going on in terms of the image that you're looking at, or a movie or whatever? In terms of light, I'm gonna dive into the light and so forth. Yeah, but mainly the visuals and the sound too. That's all part of the theater of what's that?
You're getting programmed.
So what you looking at? Cause you anybody ever made an old school cartoon on a notebook and you decide you know how you draw a character, a stick man on one sheet of paper, and you draw it on another sheet of paper, and then you draw it another, and you going down maybe whatever, I don't even went down like 10 pages. Even as a kid, you just flick it a little bit. You say, oh, look at that. You made the man maybe lift his hand up or whatever. This works on a level beyond imagination, just like that.
That's how real life works. That's motion. Motion is the frame reference of event.
Right. That's what I was getting at on the movie, video game, whatever, reality, When I would say this, and we keep to preserve that absolute as false rule here. When you look at whatever everyone's looking at now, let's say if you look from left to right in your room or whatever, do you see what do you see? Do you see any breaks in your vision, or do you see one continuous fluid line of sight?
You see one continuous fluid line of sight for the most part.
That would break the absolute law. Right.
That's only because you got poor eyesight.
Okay. What's going on in the movie? It seems like let's say we have 4K now. I think they got 8K coming. We could even record the 8K, whatever.
There would be
the red cameras
in the film. Is it breaks in your sight after we
right? I'm about to because remember, absolute is fault. I'm about to get into that. Now, what we're seeing, and going back to the news, said that our body is very magnificent in many ways, engineering wise, and so I'm kind of about to dive into that disregarding the eyeball.
So hold on, brother, real quick. Are you breaking down light and visualizations?
In a way,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. I just
Because we
wanted to, okay, I'm listening to you. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, go ahead and do what you
so
do.
so when you look at a movie, particularly 4K versus old school TV, particularly a lower resolution. Here's what we're dealing with. What you would notice that breaks in the visual continuity becomes more apparent, and not as apparent, and as you become more sophisticated in your resolution. What are we talking about here? Back to that old school example of drawing the little characters on on a page or two. I mentioned a 10-page cartoon. Now you flick 10 pages, you're gonna see a very tick-tocky kind of a movement, right? Because the
Right.
resolution is so rudimentary.
Yeah, breakthrough the vision.
Now we're about to get real. We're about to take off here. Now TV, pretty much, or just y'all just try to keep brief as possible. On the human eye, we see many frames per second. The more frames you see per second, the more higher the resolution. The eye actually takes pictures like a camcorder.
Yep.
And so, because we can't have one picture is absolutely, nothing works like that. So in other words, when you look, like when you guys in your room, wherever you take a look, it's taking one picture, like 60, 70 pictures a second. And so it's so fast that it looks like one continuous fluid movement.
Yep.
That's where the movie industry got the idea from the camcorder and the movie video camera
Yeah.
from the
Like
human eye, right? Because
your
it's
eyes.
multiple frames. That's all a movie really is. If you go in the movie, if you slow the
Yeah.
movie down, you'll start seeing the individual frames and shit. I don't care if it's 4K, 8K, whatever. It depends how sophisticated and sensitive the equipment is, but you can slow it down and see like one picture, two picture,
Frame.
right,
Yeah.
right,
And that's what I'm saying. And that's all, like, time is a frame reference of events. That's all it is. That's what motion
right.
is you moving from one state to another, and that change over time and distance. That's what time is. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like this ain't even that, like, ain't even really that deep for real. It's just you just can't distinguish reality from virtual reality.
Well,
You
yeah,
can't.
we can do, yeah, we can distinguish it. I just go further in the same area.
You
We'll
can.
go back to the dream state, like you said. There was something about proving a dream. We
And
can't. What we
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, when you
okay.
sleep in your dreams, you can't distinguish that shit from real or fake.
Well,
Unless you just
I'm gonna go into it. Let me go into a little bit further. Since we said it's a simulation, I would have to agree. Now, the only thing what you see on this side of things when you awoke, it's simulatory, probably right. In theory, you would agree.
yeah,
When you
still
go to
some
sleep, you see. Just follow me for a second. When you go to sleep at night, what you see in there is also a simulation.
right.
It begs a few questions. I'm gonna try to keep it brief, just to one question. First question would be just one question. Why would usually your dreams always look similar to what this world looks like, and vice versa? Notice it don't look very differently in your dreams. Notice that
Never does.
is a reason for that, but I won't go into it. But my point is that given that you sit between two artificial simulations, so to speak, the only thing that's real is the observer that connects the two frames of reference.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's the observer, not what's observed, that's real, in my opinion. Take this all throw away, guys, and this is just how I understand it. And people in my circle, it's the observer that gives. It's been said. You know what? It's been said that without people looking at this stuff on Earth, it wouldn't even be here. It's been said by others that once the people are incarnate out of here and everybody get to the next level, this place disappears because there won't be anybody to look at this shit.
Is the subconscious, or does the subconscious ever disconnect from the consciousness?
Only in seeming, as I understand it. Only in seeming. At the end of the day, no. Not absolutely, only in seeming. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like male and female appear to be different, but that's only in seeming. It's not like you lose one or the other, whatever.
But in reality, they're all human.
At the end of the day, right? It just depends on your frame of reference, on your point of view, on your perspective. We call it, say, according to the law of correspondence and so forth, like that. But reality, and you're not just looking outward either. You're also sending something out. When you look at something, you're sending something out as well as taking something in. It go both ways, it's not just ever one way, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we're dealing with perspective here at the end of the day. And so, yeah, just to reiterate that when you look at something from left to right in your rooms or TV or whatever, everything's modeled off the eyeball. It's just rapid frames per second. And so if you slow down, actually your eyes is a set. You're looking at a set of photographs. Your
Yeah.
eye is actually taking pictures, actually taking many pictures in milliseconds. It's very interesting when you really think about it. You
One
say,
thing,
damn, this motherfucker taking pictures and shit.
I think
Yep.
one thing that I have found different in my dreams and my reality is my dream somehow seems to be disconnected from time and space.
Right. Well, because in that state of that dimension and realm, you are disconnected from time and space. You are beyond the 3D for all intents and purposes of the word.
Yeah,
You're in another realm. That's the only
yeah,
time that we say the spirit and soul get a chance to be free of the flesh.
yeah.
Is once you shut down. I won't go too far ahead of myself,
Dream-
but that kind of gives credence to what you sound like. You feel like you're not on the earth anymore. Right?
yeah,
Exactly.
it's like I'll have dreams of myself at a certain time or place, like of me remembering my grandma and shit. You know what?
Right. Right. And I can go
You
into that
know,
too. Right. We can. It's just it's so much to say. Man, be here all night. So much to say about this. AI tie AI into it too. And kind of what Duran was saying. It kind of there's a lot to tie this. There's a lot to this shit. But just real briefly, when you when you go to sleep, or whatever, for instance, I'm trying to remember all these talking points. When a person go to sleep, there's many infinite possibilities that some would say have occurred and will occur at any rate, and up to this point, even in this particular life that we're in. You may get residual memories from different timelines and for what we call our multiple selves and so forth. A lot of times that's kind of what's going on in many cases. Be memories from like way back, memories of a life you never even where you even lived before. That should be from other timelines. It's you, but perhaps from other timelines.
and I may not
See,
be the age that I am now.
or future timelines. Sometimes that shit can be noticed out of the dreams, even in religious texts. They have
Yeah.
predictive natures and predictive themes to the motherfuckers. They be future timeline. Yeah, man, shit, this shit gets really wild. Now, with that being said, um, what happens, or additional, maybe I can even say this, or additional choices that could have made based off actions you might have already taken. Let's just say, you may get all the other choice options that you could have said if you went to, you would decide to move to Utah, but you didn't do that. You broke up with your wife, you moved over here. What happened if you didn't break up? You may have a dream that showed that.
I
Point
might
being here is that all possibilities are happening.
be
They
that
happen
person.
at this. Right, and so a computer AI don't have that. It doesn't have that capability. That's one of the huge drawbacks of AI. It's not technically. It does, this is why it doesn't have to use the bathroom and it doesn't pee or need to reproduce. It's not alive. You know what I'm saying? It's like a virus or something like that. But
You can have multiple realities when you like when you go from one page and then you just open up another tab and then just open up a whole nother business on this tab right here. That's one reality.
right
Then you
now,
open up tab.
the reason why all of this stuff happens is because it has to have occurred already, so it can be fair seeming. I won't go too far ahead of myself. A computer. This is the great limitation. They're trying to get there. What the AI pundits are trying to do is what we call create a fault, what we call an artificial singularity. What I'm referring to is from the original natural standpoint. From my standpoint, we call it an organic singularity. They're not the same, only in seeming. They seem the same depending on what you understand, how the understanding is. At any rate, a computer. I just stopped there. It's so I can go into some more areas too. I just stopped there.
Yeah, so they say physicists discover that ice produces electricity when bent or stretched. Just some random ass shit for you.
Yeah, so for it's been for this stuff to happen, for this I go ahead and say this, for us to be able to sit here and talk like this, that means it has to already have happened. Nothing can never absolutely happen for the very first time per se. That's the old timers would say, it ain't nothing new under the sun. You might have heard it that way. That's really what they're talking about. See, and that's kind of what the dream world ties into. You go to sleep and man, you may be a millionaire. You hear some of the pundits in the tarot and some of the spiritual pundits and some of the sages or whatever. They say you can manifest. You can do this. Just go deep in yourself, and you're a millionaire. You can get it. It's obtainable. On one other timeline, you're a millionaire. One other timeline, you homeless. One other timeline, you a cop. One other timeline, you didn't go to school at all. High school dropout. It just depends on what we're dealing with.
It sounds
And in
like
my opinion,
you was
I'm sorry.
on drugs and shit. I mean, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And that
they could go.
happens
Yeah,
in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Look at
yeah,
them actors and shit. They tell you how they used to be strung out on dope and shit, and like the singer Kim. Kim is they call him
right,
Kim singer.
right. Kim, yeah, from Detroit.
You know Kim from Detroit. Yeah, you know his story. Kim was
Yeah,
strung all the way out. If you saw Kim before he made it to the industry, you would have saw that man would have had no hope in hell for his life. He
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not doing well now if he still fuck around with cocaine. But I mean, it's the ups and downs. It's that
Right.
timeline that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, we have, in my opinion, we got to be careful with taking in false light. With this AI, it's a big proliferation of false light. I was on the internet today, on Instagram, looking at my news feed and on Facebook and stuff. They got all these artificial fake videos coming down. It's not even real videos.
Yeah.
If they're taking junk TV to a whole nother level.
Yep.
Now it's not even now the stuff it was already vain, some would argue, or frivolous in the first place. Now it's about to become totally artificial. Man, shit. Where does it stop?
Yeah, man. I remember one of the things that stopped me from making it in the entertainment industry was when they went from like records and cassettes and stuff to CD. When they went to CD, then here comes the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I refused to put my music on the internet. Here I am. I have my own record company. Every record I sold, I got paid 20 times over for it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I didn't want to put nothing. For me to put my music on the internet mean I had to put my shit out there for free. And you see, when you got a people paying for the record, they're gonna listen to that album at least once. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It ain't no such thing as somebody buying your record and don't really listen to it unless something crazy happens. You're not going to invest your money into something and not listen to it. So every record sale you got, you're going to get heard. Man, you can put your shit on the internet, man, and people don't even listen to your shit, bro.
Yeah.
Just like
Now,
your video.
like you said, like a record, like you say in a CD.
To make a video right now, I
Yeah.
bet you that motherfucker don't get 10 views.
Yep. Yep. Now, like a CD or a DVD player, notice all possibilities are pretty much on that DVD somewhere, to the levels of gigabytes. Now, in the human reality, you dealing with man, the Pico, you deal with man, terrible. You deal with some beyond shit you can't even imagine. You deal with an infinite aspect, which is AI is an infinite. They're trying to make it that way, but finite can never be compared to the infinite at the end of the day. But notice on the DVD. Every scene of the movie is there. Why we don't see all of these events at the same time? Because you live through it scene by scene, almost kind of how the eye sees. The eye of the DVD reader itself is your consciousness of your life.
They say UMass engineers built artificial neurons that talk to real brain cells.
You see, so and so we're living in overlapping movies, so to speak. A new set. We can't prove from his perspective what his eye is seeing. We just take his word for it, and vice versa with us.
I'm not going to speak on this level on quantum physics as much as metaphysics. I know that the successes that I've had in my life, bro, everything that I have ever wanted, everything that I have ever dreamed of being, everything that I've manifested that shit into my life. It may not have came out the way that like with these movies and shit. Man, as a kid, I used to dream of being a rapper and a movie star, and man, I've done that shit easily. Now, it wasn't a part of my dream to live in big mansions. You know what I'm saying? It
Facts,
wasn't a
bro.
part of my dream to be rich.
Facts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was part of my dream to be that guy. And I've done that to the top of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I remember when I was in the church, man, and when my mother bought me this drum set, I used to listen to these gospel singers, man. Oscar Hayes and all of these cats. The cats I used to tell you about. You
right.
know, I used to the Clark sisters and all of these people not be playing this drum set to have the radio on blast. And in my mind, I would be at a concert playing behind these people. Do you know that shit happened like that in real life, bro?
Man, I believe it, bro. Ain't that somehow? But our buddy, what about our buddy Shabazz, man? You think he gonna pull through?
That I have ever, even like Sonetta. There times I used to wish, but I wish that I was on that one. I'd have been on that bitch a million times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
my mind just I could tell you about my house that I bought, bro. I remember I was saying, Lord, I need me a home, and I'm just wanting real bad. I don't know how I'm gonna get it. These houses in Detroit, man, you gotta have at least $100,000 to get these raggedy houses. Next thing you know, the fatty thing went down. Boom! I bought $100,000 house for $4,000.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's all
Facts.
about me just wanting. And the metaphysics, the law of attraction thing. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think that
Facts,
I
bro.
put it to my life, bro.
Man, I hope Shabazz can pull through. He in the hospital and stuff.
Man, Shabazz, man.
I hope he pulled through, man.
Man, yeah, man. Hey, man. I thank God for Shabazz, man. Shabazz is part of my early roots, bro. When I left the Christian church and I got into this Israelite thing, the Israelite in Detroit at that time. You're talking over 30, 35 years ago. The Israelites in Detroit was unheard of, but we did have a strong pro-black grassroots movement. And the closest thing that I can get to celebrating my blackness was joining Malik Shabazz. You know what I'm saying? And I ran with Malik Shabazz. And again, doing my research, I used to think about, heavily these Black Panthers and all of these great people, and running with Malik Shabazz. The ones that was living in my time, I met them all, including Rosa Parks. So I'm talking about the power of the mind. I didn't do nothing great, but just had a strong desire for these things to be.
Facts, bro. Hey, Anu,
Yeah.
did you see a story about? It was about a robot over there had created its own demise. So they said in the news reports back in, I think over there in South Korea, something like that, in I think July 2024 or something like that. You heard about that? This robot kind of. I'm just entertaining, conversation, just kicking it with the family. Hell, at the end of the day, it's all good. But given what you said earlier about you subscribe to these, the machines can become sentient, right, and alive, or self-aware, and so forth, right? Almost equivalent to U.S. counterpart, its creator, pretty much. And my point is that this particular robot had became according to the article. I don't believe it personal, but I just want to see that you familiar with it because it's a little interesting. This robot became dismayed over its work conditions and a few other things. So this robot dude, you check this out. This guy actually wheeled himself and threw himself down a staircase and committed suicide. It's supposed to be the world's first case of robotic suicide and shit. Yeah, check it out. It said out of South Korea back in 2024.
I could believe it.
AI suicide.
This guy
Wow.
actually rolled himself down.
He said, "Fuck this. I regret nothing."
He proud of this shit, dude. That dude really feeling like a human. If he did that shit, hell, he probably is alive.
But I knew was talking about how the AI is looking for kind of way to make himself manifest in a body. That's going to happen when they start making them robots.
Well, that's what they want. They want to blur the line increasingly between human and machine at the end of the
When they
day.
make that robot, it's a wrap. It's over with, brother.
Yeah, once they get a body, it's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, you can't be no robot that they can reboot and recharge itself. But you unplug me, hey, look, I would keep myself in the sun. Goddamn it!
You're worried about it rebooting. I'm not worried about it rebooting. I'm worried about the fact that it's running off a nuclear battery that don't burn out for 10,000 years, and they got a lot of patience.
Okay, well, they got it. They working on the answer to that. I can go into that for a second if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, just real quick. We know that the human body, like, it runs very efficiently with energy. It's like
Right.
billions and trillions of volts and millivolts and all this other shit. I can quote the number if I just.
Billy.
Yeah, I don't have any the number on the top of my head, but it's like it's worth something to the I think billions of volts or some shit, like collectively the whole body, whatever. At any rate, the scientists now are trying to figure out how to power these things. You don't want to. They want to get past the plug. So guess what the source will become?
You.
You, right? They're trying to figure out how AI can power itself off of human cells. Fuck. That's insane, dude. That's hideous to me, bro.
They growing little mini brains and put
Fuck
them on
that,
microchips.
man. Fuck that shit. From my perspective, fuck that, man. That is hideous to me.
That might be the death of AI because human cells die.
They have right. They have contingency plans, brother. I can go on and on. I can just keep working this thing out, but they have this contingency plans, right?
The AI can rewrite the cell and tell that motherfucker not to die.
Or they can grow you. Go there, grow you like a farm.
Yeah.
That's artificial womb technology. There's other things we go into, but
once the AI gets that body and they learn how to create a synthetic organic matter, it's a wrap. You ain't gonna be able to tell the difference between a human and a AI. They're gonna have to tell your parts and everything.
Yeah. It's interesting, definitely, man. This is it's very interesting.
Because only logic would tell AI that it's easier to blend in with humanity than it is to destroy humanity.
It's gonna be you, your wife. Your wife gonna be a robot, and then you go. I don't know how y'all. I don't know what I don't know what they gonna do when you bust up in her. She gonna collect your nut, and she gonna create an artificial ass baby.
It's gonna create a cyborg, a little android.
Yeah.
And at some point, I probably predict that at some point it's probably safe to say that the robots won't even know that they're actually robots. At some point, if we go so far with this stuff, eventually it become like they won't even be they'll be self-aware that they're actually human. You know what I'm saying?
So we surely can say that someone thought this shit in existence because almost like what Cosmo said, this shit go back to shit we saw coming a long time ago.
Facts. Yeah.
Remember Buck Rogers and he used to have him shit on there. Yeah.
Your boy Data. What about Data? There you go. Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah.
That dude's like the premier AI prototype back in the day.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, to really make this thing take off, it has to be able to power itself, so it doesn't have to just hang around the grid or just it can't go too far. It has to be able to become fully autonomous if it's to be compared to and be capable of human endeavor and on a mobile on a mobile way.
Japan has developed contact lenses that give you true night vision without any external devices.
There you go.
I didn't hear that. What did you say?
She said Japan, they put together some contact lenses you can wear that doesn't need any other additional equipment, and they stay powered up.
Yeah, you can night vision.
Wow.
Yeah, Apple has already entertained the idea, and they're not the only one. They want to get rid of these phones. They got to figure out how to do it. So it looks like they're trying to go to the glasses. You know what I'm saying? I see they got these glasses out now. They're going to try to make that replace the phone. Yeah, at some point.
Somebody was telling me something.
That shit going in your head. It's a neural link. It's going in your head.
At the end of the day, but we would never agree to that collectively. They know that, so they have to kind of walk us out.
I heard the people's buying shit with their hands now, with their palms.
Right. Yeah, they do it at Whole Foods, Amazon. Amazon owns Whole Foods. They got palm readers. Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually buy shit with your palm. That's crazy.
And so Apple already said too that if you don't want the glasses or whatever, that they have contact lens options for those who don't want to wear glasses. And you can basically watch movies with your eyes closed at this point.
In your sleep and fucking, hey, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna let the movie play while I'm sleeping. Shit.
Yeah. If you get, yeah, you know what I'm saying, now when it gets to the head part, when they actually can actually integrate you into that shit, then what I have, I mean, it's a lot of shit. It's so much I can go into. I'll just say this part: once they get everybody greeted together, and with some kind of internalized as it integrated with your neural links and so forth, and you become online. You don't have to go online. You become the internet at this point. Once you become the internet, then what'll happen? You'll be able to link up to. We could all link together almost instantaneously. We don't have to call nobody. You can just think this shit through neural connections and electronic the signatures and so forth are linked together. See.
Yeah, but what if I don't want you inside my motherfucking mind right now?
That's what the whole issue, right? That's what I'm saying. We can go. It gets very complex. You walk that shit. There's so many damn nuances in that shit, bro.
Nah, I can hang up on you and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's why I think it's all hideous. I don't agree with none of that stuff, bro. Me personally. Imagine if you in that, man. You got a non-skippable ad playing in your shit. You got a damn commercial. You can't even skip that motherfucker. Man, fuck that shit, dude.
If people inside your man like that, it'd be hard to cheat.
Dude, man, it's so man. I can go. Let's go a little further.
I know you come to break in my house tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Man, walking around and fucking political ads are popping up.
Man, dude, you upgrade your shit.
Oh no,
bro, go ahead.
Telemarketers, nigga.
Right, dude. All of that shit, all of that, and more, all of that. They all coming. But first you gotta get integrated into. Once they integrate your, you got all of that shit coming.
Yeah, I mean you can just tap into me, and I owe you some money and shit, and I don't want to pay Walmart this month, and he just tapped right into my motherfucking mind and shit.
Yeah,
just into my motherfucking account. Fuck it.
Yeah. And money's gonna become virtual at that point. They already got digital currency. That's it right there. So they can just they just take your shit right out. Really. It's not even, they only got to find you with collections. Maybe even put collections out of business. I mean, this shit is all going to be digital, so they can just kind of just deduct your shit right there off the top. I mean, you got dry storage. I got crypto on dry storage, dry wallet, which you basically download on a USB, and then you just put that in your pocket, whatever. But
I think that. I don't know. I don't think that it's going to. There's some things that we can actually think shit into existence now. With AI, would we be able to do that, or would that create us? Would that create us? Create a limitation inside of the cyber world?
That's the spec. That's the best. That's why it's so controversial. At the end of the day, it's going to reduce our thinking possibilities greatly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, from a human perspective, not from you're a proponent for AI, then you may think opposite.
There was a time a car didn't exist until a motherfucker thought that motherfucker into existence. You know what I'm saying? How will we be able to create? Will we have that? Would that power become multiplied?
Only once you have to translate it to put it in a language that AI understands. Yeah, AI is bent off human endeavor at the end of the day. Like to create art. Go ahead.
It would be limited to the cyber world.
Huh?
It seems like it would be limited to the cyber world.
And what do you mean?
Like your inventions, your creations, your thoughts. How are you going to manifest these things into your thinking capabilities to make these things how we did in the past? Like there was nothing, all of a sudden, boom! Now you're making this shit a reality. Yeah. We're doing this. We made this car reality outside of cyberspace.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all of our inventions, all of our creations would be, it would seem that it would be limited to cyberspace.
Right. Get led and governed by AI at that. Yeah. At the end of the day, at the rate we're going, right.
It would be free, powerful creation.
Yeah. The human mind is capable of what we call original thought, right? AI is more of an appendage. It's a shadow of human thought, in my opinion. Becoming more sophisticated by the day as fast as we become sophisticated. It's a direct rate limiting rate of progression on the AI aspect. If we stop feeding it, it stops growing. It's like a virus. If you
Yeah.
don't give it, if you're not a host for it, if it can't stick you implanted in your head and all this other shit, they got up there sleep, then it's worthless. Like for instance, right now we're on the brink of a global digital ID. Right now, there's a huge campaign against digital ID. Right now, they're marching all over there in the UK and all this shit. Because if you don't take that, then the whole system falls apart. And so the system is. I don't want to digress out there, but that just shows you how tentative the system is on AI. See, they got to digitize everything. It's a requirement. You have to agree to that shit to make it take off. And so AI is not contingent on original thought. Is my point. So you say,
Well,
well, damn, how you create a car? Because you can come from the archetypical aspect of the subconscious. The subconscious in the AI context is basically your hard drive, or your server, your global service is the subconscious or artificial subconscious of the artificial mind or whatever, if you want to say it that way. And so it's very finite. You got to update that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got to always hire new people to type some new shit into that motherfucker. Yeah, yeah. AI probably gonna have the ability to recombination. Basically just reshuffle the deck, so to speak. But the stuff it's shuffling is already there. It was given the cards at the beginning of the day.
yeah,
See, it was all. I don't care how advanced it was. It was given the cards.
yeah.
See, we
Well,
weren't given shit. We were just we just came into this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We learned some cards as we got here, but we got some shit, man.
like to and I like that, man, about and it better articulated what I was trying to say about being locked in cyberspace because the human has the ability to create original thought, and cyberspace is not original thought. That's programmed thought.
Right, you're dealing with mimicry. Right, it's a context one of my shadow books, or what called we study dark side and the dark elements of mind and things like that. Then there's a lot of areas of parasitology, mimicry, shadow. There's a lot of stuff, but the AI comes in under the aspect of what we call mimicry. It's a master mimicker. This motherfucker, man, it's so good at it now. You seen on the news, on your news feeds? Something they got Martin Luther King, man, walking up inside, man, and party stores, man, talking about I have a dream. He coming in there with a handful of mileage. Or I have a dream. I don't have to pay for these now laters, and that day is today. Then he was turning around walking. You can't even tell that's not even that much.
But what we have now have already greatly
You can't even tell that's not even that dude, man.
what we have now has already compromised our original mental capacity. I remember
Right.
when I was a
Yeah.
young guy, I could remember 100 phone numbers right off the top of my head. I knew my mama,
Facts.
my grandmother number. I got two phones and I don't even know one of them, I don't even know the number, bro. I just don't even know the number. And because of the computer age, it made me lazy till I don't have to know the number. If I just needed to, I could just go on the phone and pull it up the number. Here go my number right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to remember it. It's made me lazy. And surely I don't have 10 numbers in my brain.
That's the whole goal of AI. It's to switch places with you.
Yeah.
It
So
become the human, and guess what you become? Not you personally, but it'll be me, or you can use me if you want. The machine. I become the machine. It becomes the human. See?
yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's wickedly brilliant, no matter how you cut it. Whatever your standard of brilliance is, you have to give the AI a standing ovation, if you will, in that regard, I think. What's going on, brother Manuel?
They're going to have a people in the world, like maybe like a Amish people, organic people.
Yeah, right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, maybe the Sentinelese people. Some people have to stay organic on this planet, man.
You'll always have that. It's been said, no matter how whacked out this world becomes, it's that nature always offers a reset button. I'll just say it that way. And there are reset buttons out there. Oh yeah.
How you set your cyborg ass grandson?
Right. Oh shit! You know, there's so many damn movies that show that how that's happening. Twilight Zone episode, I remember, man. There's one Tales from the Dark Side and shit. They had this one episode, man. If you care to hear about it, I think the name of it, man. I think it was one of the new Twilight Zone. You know, they got that old one. They had a new one. I think came out early 2000s, whatever. And so how it starts up, you know, you got this couple, breast, you know, the dad's watching the lady breastfeed the baby, whatever. Like, she had like covered up with a cover on top of it, baby, and she's looking down like, oh, he's full of energy now. He's powered up. He's woke up. He's happy now. He's like, oh yeah, oh, the dad leans over, kiss it. The mother kisses it. He kisses her. And he said, okay, I'm gonna walk out. He's putting on this coat. He walks out the door. This guy go to work. He's part of a like a bounty hunter service. He worked for like a contingency force, right? So he goes to work. They got a hot tip. They found a wanted fugitive out in the woods somewhere. They got a rough idea where he is, right? They heard it's a couple of them. So they basically looking around trying to find out, and they go out there into the woods and shit where these vigilantes live. They go into this cave area, this hidden area, and find out it's one dude that heard who was one of the vigilantes. He heard some crumpling outside of his shed, whatever. He came out and engaged him and shit, and got shot and got killed. So before he got killed, he had a wife in the cave too that was pregnant, but they didn't ever find out about her. And so they killed him. And so they took his body back to base. How the episode ended is mind blowing. The people that actually went looking for him were machines, actually. And so the guys that was wanted, or people that was considered vigilantes, was called creators. And that was it was a derogatory term for creators. They actually turned and was hunting down the human creators of AI. Mind blowing episode. And so they were called creators. They just out of disgust. They're like, damn creators, we got to find them. We got them all eliminated. Here's one over here in the woods that they found is where they killed him. He said, I hope he's the last one, whatever. At any rate, crazy episode, but very telling. At the end of that episode, he goes home to tell the wife. He said, man, I think we found one. She said, you found a creator? She said, yeah, we found one. I hope he's the last one. And so she said, well, the baby's been waiting for you. She takes off the cover. This motherfucker plugged into the wall and shit. Woo! Yeah, yep. So, you know, there you go. Then it just goes off. The episode goes off. So they were machines that didn't even know it. See, you got that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is wild as hell, man. Yeah, that was Twilight Zone.
Peace. I just rose from the dead, man. I'm trying to get my life back together.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Man, you cooked dude the other day. That fake Gnostic guy. What the hell was he talking about?
Man, I don't know. I don't like when people take away from an understanding just because another understanding from the Bible. That'd be my only thing. Like, I don't believe that it's for you to get one understanding, and I don't think it's for you to gain an understanding and then eliminate a previous understanding that you had. Of course, unless it's something that doesn't make sense, you know, I can see why you eliminate it. But when people start to say, oh, I understand the allegory in the Bible, and then you try and eliminate all the physicality of it, or, you know, all the physical stories of, you know, lineages of kings and stuff like that, that's still here to this day. Even people that may not be, you know, a literal Davidic dynasty, still track their bloodlines to these people. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna tell you a powerful point in that discussion, and I wish you would have harped on it a little harder. And you harped on it hard, and I was proud of you for that, because that's what I would have done. Is when he was trying to go off into that spirit realm, and how he was separating the spirit world from our natural world. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to use that the spirit realm as like the God can be outside of self. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he belonged. Like we as black people, especially Israelites, know God to be his home, to be inside of us. You see, so when you're talking about the spirit, you can't separate the spirit realm from the physical realm like this man was doing, and
Right.
you caught him on that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's something that most people would let slide. And because you did that, man, I had to take big ups to you. I think that you could have you should have harped on that a little harder, because that you really could have took all his legs out from under him with just that point alone.
So, and look, it's funny that you peeped that. I appreciate that. But one of the things that I was trying not to do was like play too much bully ball, because I know he's kind of sensitive because we had previous encounters. But also, you remember he tried to act like he agreed when I said that. He was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I agree with that." And
But
I
that's
was like,
not
"Nah, you don't agree with what I'm saying. I'm explaining a total different type of duality that you trying to get into. Like
what
you eliminating what I'm talking about."
what people do is they use the ambiguous spirituality, the spirit, in a way that the children of Israel never use that word, bro. And they use it in a way to manipulate God and the word, bro. You know,
Yeah,
well, not
all the
not
scriptures
the
tell
natural,
us.
but the spiritual side. Man, what the hell is you talking about?
Dude, so that's a lie. If there's a truth, that means there's a lie there.
Right.
The spiritual side is the physical side is the reality side, right? And the spiritual side is the non-reality side. Now that's when you get spooky and crazy.
In so many words,
No.
he was trying to say he was saying the same thing we're saying, but he would turn around and say the physical doesn't exist with the way that he was explaining the Bible. That's what I was trying to get him to say. Like you saying you understand the duality and the flesh and the spirit and all this. Why you keep deleting the flesh part of the Bible?
You try to separate them, and you can't.
Right.
There's no duality when you separate them. It's a singularity.
Which is what I feel like, because I do actually believe in the Messiah, just not necessarily the way that Christianity explains them. So I believe that somebody came and
See
explained this to us. Like, hey, the
what not
kingdom is within you.
what not
We have a spirit that came
what
into the.
not did was drew upon ancient Greek and Roman mythologies, where the sons of God usurped the God, or you overrode, and sometimes even slew their daddies. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of those Greek gods had kids that grew up and overthrew their damn pops. Just like how the Gnostics try to make Jesus. They don't make Jesus one with God. In fact, they use Jesus as like this central figure, and the God of the Bible, they throw him out for what is it, Menard and Yazabot and all of this other crazy stuff. They supplant the Yahweh completely out of it. They turn him into the enemy.
Right.
Just like that's the same thing that went on in Greek and Roman mythology. You know, where the son came up and overthrew the father. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it was in battle and stuff, bro. Took the father's throne and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's why that right there is why a lot of Gnosticism went away from Christianity and started to call themselves Christ. Like that's why I was picking at them a little bit like, hey, bro, you don't really know where Gnosticism come from. I could tell, because that shit comes from getting an understanding of the Bible. That's This is about something spiritual and we acknowledging a lot of the flesh portion of it. That's pretty much what they were saying. And it's like,
They
man,
talk
hey,
about,
when
they talk about how Gnosticism, comes from a lot of older teachings that predated Christianity and all that stuff. That's the mythologies. Didn't nothing predate Christianity but the mythologies. The
right,
Abrahamic faith. When you just go past the Abrahamic faith, then you start getting into Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Mesopotamian stuff, Iraq, all that stuff.
one of the recent revelations I've had about that. It makes sense that that would happen because these are the same people who like to give images to what they were worshiping. Besides, from my understanding, original Hebrews and even Egyptians, they weren't necessarily getting into that. Some of the imagery that you was getting from them was for them to try and tell you a story versus them telling you what their God looked like. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Facts.
So
All
that
all Christianity has ever done was went into the ancient world and created a gumbo, all that stuff is Greek stuff in there. Is especially when you get in the New Testament. It's so much Greek. Man, Paul made a statement where he talked about in Him we live and move and have our being. He didn't get that stuff from no Israelite sage. He got that shit from Dionysus and some player, some shit, man. All pagan stuff.
mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
that come from them Greeks trying to remix and come up with their own Egypt and try and come up with a religion that they felt like was for everybody.
yeah, you got Egypt in
Yeah,
there, you
facts.
got Mesopotamia in there, you got a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't just lump together and put it. Especially once you take it outside of the Hebrew translation, it really get crazy then.
Yeah. And anytime somebody trying to get into translation, the first thing I always try and let them know is, you know what I'm saying, it's pretty much Greek versus Egyptian. Like even when you look at the scriptures, you don't get a whole lot of manipulation till you translations, and then a lot of it comes around the time the scriptures would have been translated into the Greek. That's when a lot of people start to get pointing out quote unquote contradictions in the scripture comes from stuff like that from the translation,
I mean,
and it's like,
you got people who did it in
mm-hmm,
the Old Testament and stuff. Like say for instance, they say Moses' story is a straight carbon copy of Sargon.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? And,
mm-hmm,
being born discovered in a basket, floating in the river, and some high-powered person came and rescued him. That's the same story that happened way older than the most. I don't know whether it was Sargon. It was one of them old Mesopotamian stories that existed before Moses was born. And
mm-hmm.
my answer to that is it is a known fact that book have been redacted over and over and over again, and I believe that a lot of that stuff was just fanciful writing, added to the text that like the people of ancient did. Every time that they redacted stuff, they added stuff to it. Even the Israelite people did it. The books that we have right now, we know that if you believe in the Israelite story, Ezra is responsible for us having the collectivity of the scriptures that we have today.
Correct. Correct. I agree with that.
You see, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
One
Yeah.
of the main reasons for sure.
yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Then you follow the traditions after that of the Mezerites and all of that stuff. That stuff been happening over and over again. That's how the text we have today ain't the text that was written by Moses. You know what I'm saying, or by Solomon, or et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? This is years
Mhm.
and years and years of redactions.
Right. And then, like I say, you got Greeks that then had an influence to try and put a narrative within the context to, like you say, make certain stories sound
Now these Hebrews
like
redacted
previous
stories.
stories or other ancient stories.
The Hebrews redacting their stories and fancifully writing their stories is a whole nother ball game from European interpolation and interloping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's adding stuff in places where it shouldn't be and was never wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was never wanted for the Greek understanding of hell to be a part of Hebrew cosmology.
Right.
You know, it was never intended for that.
I definitely agree with that.
You know, many different the concepts of spirit. Just the word spirit. The Hebrew concept of spirit is nowhere near the same as the Greeks by the time that shit got to Greek and Latin and English. You know, the whole that's why I call my channel Yashabin Israelite Thought Channel. I try to go back to the pureness of the Israelite thought, way before the pagan and European interlopings and interpolations. You know, when the Hebrews, if they added these things that probably were not true to it, they wanted it there, and they did it. Because that was a part of their history, their story, and their culture. But for the Europeans to add European stuff inside the Hebrew stuff, it's not needed. It was never wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They just took it upon themselves to do it. You know, they put eggs in a basket where it didn't belong. And
It's
to
funny
this
you said that because the
day,
reference that I was going to make. It's funny you said they put eggs in baskets that they didn't belong in. Because I was
yeah,
going to say, like the fact that they just come up and poof Easter in the Bible. But Ezra actually goes into why he would even consider, what he's doing as righteous day or
yeah,
feast of rededication.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah. Because the Hebrew thought is Pesach, the Passover, right? But when the
Mm-hmm.
Christians came, and the pagans, and they put that Greek and all that stuff in there. The Passover became straight up Easter. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
Passover, a 1 week celebration, became a one Sunday paganism. And that's because of they interloped and interpolated their heathenism and their paganism inside of a place where it wasn't supposed to be.
Man, I'm trying to bring A1 back to the Hebrew understanding, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
why and many others have fallen away from the Hebrew understanding. The leaders that you have today are highly unfit to hold the positions down that they hold, brother. And they are distracting away from the truth of God, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders of Israel today are just like the corrupt leaders of Israel during the days of Jeremiah, brother. Especially those emanating from the One West groups, which are the faces of the movement. The worstest piece of shit that I've ever seen in all of religion in America, including the cults.
That's a bet. So we doing face off or debate? Okay, bet. Oh yeah. As long as you got to respond, he ain't gonna run. I said as long as you got him to respond, he ain't gonna run.
Can I say something real quick on that one thing before I forget it, and I'll let y'all jump back on it because I smoke a lot of weed. I talk about how your leaders of the Israelite movement are greatly unqualified to be there, and they are the reasons why A1 and I can name Chris Harris and all of the leaders, all of the people that were Israelites that are no longer Israelites. The leadership is fucked up inside of the house of Israel. You can't sit up there and be truthful and stand in front of the world and tell people that you are the conduit of God, saying stupid shit like the Moabites is the Chinese and Esau the white man. That is a fucking lie, bro. And you're misleading the world when you tell that lie. When you sit up there and tell that fake ass Hebrew that you made up called Lashawan Kadesh and misleading the world when you're getting your ass whooped in 2025 by pagan Christians. This is the reason why people are leaving the Israelite movement, brother. You wake up here telling your leaders is pieces of shit. And they dumb as fuck. And they not led by the God of the universe, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, one, you heard my take. You heard my take about God. You heard my take about God and Yahweh, and you agreed with me, brother. Because that's the truth, and that's the way it should have been taught. Atheists agree with what I have to say about God and Yahweh, bro. When these fake ass leaders is putting me in line with the atheists, and I'm not an atheist. I say Yahweh is the existence itself, and they can't grasp that, but the atheists could, and that's crazy, bro. I make the people who don't believe in God understand what the truth is and say, you know what? I agree with that. If that's what the God and the truth is, I can buy that. That means that there's a problem with the leadership of the house of Israel with these lies and false ass information, bro. If your shit is the truth, it will be the truth and won't nothing be able to break it. And these niggas getting embarrassed, bro, every week in their debates, bro. Especially Tazariak. I heard he got his ass crashed the other day on Clubhouse. But don't accept his debate. Don't accept his loss. That's not real, dog. God don't work like that. You getting embarrassed by all logic. And you sitting up there telling people, yeah, we beat them. We did that. That's crazy, brother. That's insanity. And anybody in their right mind should not run with no shit like that, bro. I don't blame. If that's what God is, then I don't believe in fucking God either.
Yeah, maybe.
And I know that's not what God is. That's a money play that you Masonic motherfuckers is doing to dupe our people further into the motherfucking dumbness, bro. While the white Jews advance in this motherfucking world with our motherfucking position and power. These niggas ain't doing shit but rocking us further to fucking sleep. And they're set there to keep motherfuckers like me silent. To distract the world from listening to people like me. They've been doing it for the last 35 years. I know. How is it that the Muslims, the Christians, the atheists, the science people, I can get their attention, but the motherfucking black Hebrew Israelites hate Yashab in Israel? Fuck up out of here. Because I come to expose the lies that these motherfuckers is doing. And they need to be hung from a fucking tree. It's so fucking sad.
Man, Terry.
Listen to the shit that Johanna and Tazariak did last week. Both of them call themselves debating against racists. Look, embarrassment to the black race, bro. Especially Johanna, your leader. Ben Ami wouldn't have handled that shit like that, bro. Ben Ami, if they would have came up to Ben Ami would have said some shit and would have shook the motherfucking world. You hear me? Because he's done it many times. That's why he did. And they put him out of here, and they got these clown ass niggas as your face leaders. Guess what? If what they saying is the truth about God, then I don't believe in God no more. And what if they saying is the truth about Israelites, then I'm not a motherfucking Israelite no more.
I
But I
have a
know
question.
it's not.
When you speak of, because I pretty much agree with a lot of what you're saying, especially about like going against the grain and stuff like that. A1 hear me talk like that all the time. But when you talk about your understanding of Yahweh being existence itself, do you have the same understanding of that existence has the ability to manifest into something else?
Yeah, that's what existence is. Because
Okay.
if
We
it's
locked in, twin. I'm with you.
think about this. I always ask the question: what exists outside of existence?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm. You
What is
cooking now?
real?
Oh, I'm with you.
That's like saying what is real outside of reality. What is living outside of life? Nothing. You can't say God doesn't exist because his name, Yahweh, word for word parsing means he is the existence. It don't mean he exists. Yah is he, Hawa is exist, but the is implied, brother. You look up the Arabic and the Hebrew language and ask about the word is. Is always implied. It is never. So Yah is existence. They didn't call him a God. They called him the existence. He exists and exists and exists and continues to exist. He is the essence of existence itself. And you can sit up here and say you don't believe in God. I don't either. But you crazy if you don't believe in the existence. This,
I heard that.
All the time.
this phone exists. And if I tell you and I try to tell you it don't, I'm lying. And I'm crazy.
Yeah. So the brother was saying he was trying to grasp that too and say the Father, you can't say that God exists because then you're limiting God. You remember when he was saying that?
God, the existence is all power.
Right.
When you go to quantum physics, when they look into space, all you see is power. Almighty power in the universe is out there in space. And the essence of that is the existence itself. When they go back, they don't go back to the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory before that is the existence.
Facts.
They caused the Big Bang Theory. God. God said, let there be light. He spoke it. He done it. Oof. He spoke this existence. Existence. You know what he said to the light in Hebrew? He said, or hiyot, light exists. The essence and the source of it itself. And I don't know no other way to explain it. Anything outside of that, to me, is outside of intelligence. You want to blame it on spirits because you can't explain that. You can't define that. You some shit like spooky, like magic. And you can play with it and toy with it.
So how you feel about what Naga be putting down?
I like them. I like them. I think that they have their purpose.
Right.
And their purpose is not my purpose, but their purpose is not in opposition with my purpose. My purpose can be explained within their purpose. I see myself as friends with Naga, right? You know, a lot of times Naga do their thing, man. I pop up, I hear them, I bust up and get the fuck on. They got that. They don't need me there. Now, other people, they may get offended, like, he thinks he's too arrogant. He don't want to be over here. I'm not needed. They got this.
Reason I ask is because light is one of the first things that was called good in the scriptures. And then you go to, some of the people that believe in Christ's writing, and then he said there is no one that is good but the Father.
Yeah. Remember I was telling you how the word is implied. If you want to say the big dog, the dog is big, you just say dog big. You don't say the dog. You don't say dog is big. You say the dog big. The house is red. The house red. You know, that's how they talk. They don't use the word is. They have a word called zoth. There's a word for is, but it's used in very specific instances. We can like people to understand the grammar and how Hebrew works. That is always implied. If you can understand that, you will know that Yahweh means He is existence. He is the.
I'm making Kool-Aid, by the
way. What flavor?
What is it? Tropical.
Now, tell me this. I saw Napa as one West knockoff debating with an atheist and got herself embarrassed.
Damn, who was that, Terry?
Napa.
Oh, okay.
About a month or two ago.
Oh.
And it was bad. It was bad. It was real bad, bro. She went on their channel, and all of the stuff that the HOK do to people, them people did it to her. And she was embarrassed. She got embarrassed by atheists. Dude, the atheist asked her, what do you say? Who is your God and what is your God do? And she couldn't even answer that question. Really? Me personally, I'd have been like, that's an incomplete question. Like, who is your mother and what does your mother do? Right? And you would think that I'm being disrespectful by asking you that. But I think you're just disrespectful for asking me that. What does she do? Do the bitch jump? Do she hop? Do she skip? Do she eat? That's an incomplete thought, bro. Like, what did she do yesterday? And you want me to intellectually answer that question? Well, dude, my God exists. He is the existence itself. Now, we can go down that rabbit hole, Mr. Atheist, and I bet you I'll mop your ass up. Because there is no, all science have to collapse to physics, especially quantum physics. That's the highest form of science in the world. It's the science that baffles scientists. And if it baffles scientists, you not being a scientist cannot handle it.
Right. Facts.
Don't play with me.
Hey, A1, I still want to do that movie review whenever you want to.
Oh, I wanted to say about debates, man. Like I was saying, I think A1 asked me about debating and stuff. It was a big thing that transpired today with Naga and my man from the Owaspy. And it got real heated. It got real disrespectful.
Oh,
It got
yeah.
I'm up.
Earlier. Yeah.
You know, see, I don't want to play these again. I didn't got into it with Naga before, with a beef. Well, not necessarily all of Naga, but me and Laurel. Laurel hated me for years. You hear me? He hated me for so long that I forgot what I even did to the man. People had to remind me, like, dog, you was clowning, bro. So I manned up and like, damn, if I knew I did something, I must have really hurt this man. I went and apologized to that guy. Come in, Cosmo Kyle living in my same city. He was riding around on camera, acting like he was looking for me and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
This, man, I ain't got time for that goofy shit, bro. And if this is what debating leads to, then I don't want no parts of that, bro. I'm a grown ass fucking man. I want my intelligence to be praised, to be thought of, to be considered. I don't want my shit to be ridiculed, disrespected, and all of that stupid shit. I don't want to do it. I really just don't even do it.
I came to the conclusion that we dwelling in these chats, and if we dwelling in these chats, we're leaving the ability for energy to be transferred. And some of these chats is toxic as fuck. So that'll put that energy into the dialogue or into the debate, even if it wasn't intended for y'all. If y'all, if it's coming from a specific argument, you see what I'm saying? Versus a
Debate,
certain dialogue.
this
Go ahead.
day of the debate. Look, this the day of the debate. We can hype it up, this and that, boom. The day of the debate, we do the debate. When the shit is over, it's over, man. All the going back and forth. That shit is stupid, bro. Let the crowd decide. Quit trying to convince me that you won. Let me decide for myself, bro. And that's where all the fighting and shit come in at, bro. Niggas trying to sway the crowd who won. Dude, just you did the debate. Sit the fuck down and let me consider it. Let me look at it and let me think of who won for my own judgment. I don't give a fuck what the judge say. Whoever I think won to me. I don't care what the judge say.
Right.
Did they ever come back with the official decision yet?
That's why no matter what I believe, Hemi is always going to come out on top in a lot of debates to me because of how he handled his shit, bro. He gonna always get an abundance of points from me the way that he handles himself with decorum. Cause man, anybody else who even get
I care
they get
about
off the
info.
debate, man, they get it going crazy.
I care
What you
about
say, bro?
info. You could be the most decorum nigga in the world. If your info ain't right, dude, you got an L to me, man. I don't give a fuck about your decorum. I'm about the truth. I ain't about all these tricks and tactics and trying to seduce the people and appeal to the logical fucking fallacies.
Hey
I ain't
Terry.
with
Hey Terry.
that. Yeah.
You said it, man.
Yeah, I definitely, you know what I'm saying. Him got a sense of Christianity, Western Christianity for sure. But I don't, like I said, I don't knock him because of his is decorum. Like, you know, it's simple as that. I think he leaves a lot of room to actually
Yeah.
learn,
Now I can appreciate
even though
the
he's
decorum.
debating. You see what I'm saying?
I can appreciate it, but you don't get no points in your academia for that.
Nah, 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 nah. Nah, you don't get no points in your academia, but you get points with me personally, with, you know what I'm saying, how I'm interacting with you after you take a loss in these back chats, because that's what it boils down to. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man,
It's a
that's
lot of
manhood.
people
You
who
know, that's manhood. I can respect that. You know, I can appreciate that. You know, but you know, I mean, and you know, yeah, I can appreciate that, but that's not going to make me look at you as a brainiac or somebody that need to be listened to.
no, not at all. But it's gonna make me receive you a little different than somebody that can lose blatantly and then be constantly yelling in back chats for
Oh
days
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
how they
But
like
that's
that.
the
You
whole
know what
source of
I'm,
the problem.
like that shit tells a lot about your character, period. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the source of the whole problem. Not being able to take a L, man. These debates ain't even real, man. What the fuck is you fighting like that for?
Right.
These debates
Here,
don't mean nothing. I'm talking about it's going to influence a small amount of motherfucking people, bruh.
right?
Because it's only a small amount watching. You act like nigga you lost in front of the 20 million. Like you lost a Mike Tyson fight or something.
That's like cats that play street ball and then will be arguing at half court for 5 minutes about who ball it is. It's like, man, y'all realize ain't nobody getting paid, ain't nobody going to the league. Let's just keep it pushing, bro. It's
Man,
street ball at the end of the day.
anybody seen? Remember, Hiru threatened Pan in the middle of the debate.
I ain't
You
see it.
didn't see it. Hey, you didn't see that
Yeah.
one, Terry?
No.
Dude, you gotta see it. Shit.
Put
You
it in.
said ain't none threatening Pan?
No, Hiru.
Oh, Heru. Yeah. Oh, Heru. Yeah.
You know,
He
you
was like, man, let me hit him in the mouth, dog. I was like,
know who I enjoy watching, bro? I enjoy watching that goddamn Slim Reaper.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I really, really enjoy him because to me, all of the tricks that these guys be trying to play, and he cut right through all of that goofy shit, bro. And I mean, you know, all of the appeal to the masses and trying to use your power and your numbers and your popularity for favoritism and votes. He got the skill that can cut straight through all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because he understands logic.
So look, my first time ever talking to Leandre, my first sentences were, I need you to take this with all due respect, but I like you because I see a lot of myself in you.
Yeah,
Because
a lot of
I see a lot of my
a lot
same
of myself in him.
poison just by sticking to the truth. And Leandre, that's where he gets his tactics from, is by
Well,
he's going
well,
to stand on the
but
most factual
uh,
thing he can bring out.
but he bends the truth too, though, brother. He does the bullshit too. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I have to take. That's why that see he'll get the line too. Me, I'm a brother. I don't believe in Jesus. Period. So any nigga who call himself an intellect who cannot convince me, you lying to me. Okay, it's things that these people get to say about Christ, bro. They're just not true, bro. Isaiah 7 does not prophesy Jesus Christ, especially if you know how to read it in Hebrew. There's
Wait,
no
wait,
way you can get that if you read that.
hold on. What are you saying that in the taking away from who they call Christ, or are you more so speaking
I'm
of
saying that
the
that
virgin aspect?
I'm saying that the prophet Isaiah never prophesied that a virgin was going to bring forth a man named Jesus, 2,000, or Jesus, Yeshua, Yahushai, whatever name. He never prophesied that. If you read the Hebrew text and you understand the Hebrew, go to any Hebrew teacher, not a Christian teacher, a Christian and no Hebrew that's going to lie. Go to a real person that speak Hebrew good. Go to that text in Isaiah 7. Isaiah 7 reads something similar like this. It says, Ha'alma Ha'alma Bahiri, or something like that, right? Meaning that the young woman is it ain't even young woman. Well, actually, Alma is young woman. It said the young woman. It said the young woman is pregnant right now. Matter of fact, it says Hina, meaning right now the young woman is pregnant. Hina ha'al bahara, which means right now the young woman is pregnant. He wasn't talking about no 700 years later. He said Hina, right now.
Do you believe in Christ at all, Terry?
Huh?
Do you believe in Christ at all?
No.
Okay.
But that's irrelevant to the point.
No,
I'm gonna tell you why it's irrelevant to the point.
I was just asking before
I'm gonna tell you why it's irrelevant. I'm gonna tell you why it's irrelevant to a point. I used to be an ordained, licensed Pentecostal minister, brother, who believed in Jesus. So I know it all. I teached it. I put my life on the line for it. But it's because of when I go to the book of Matthew, and Matthew stood up there and said that this is the prophecy that was fulfilled by the prophet. And when I go back and read what the prophet never said nothing like that. And I had to come to grips with that. And all of them prophecies is like that. Jesus was nowhere in the Old Testament, bro. When you go back to the original Hebrew. And me and Leon, when I first met Leandre, we had that conversation.
So, just real quick, because I don't want to change our bill too much, right? But how do you feel about Jeremiah 23:6 in the Hebraic expression?
Nothing, because there's no evidence that there ever was a Hebrew expression. The oldest text that we have and know of is that of the Greek, and after that, possibly the Aramaic Pashita, which is not Hebrew. So there is no Hebrew thought concerning that. That's all Christian stuff.
Wait. You saying what now? Say this
That's
again.
all Christian stuff. There is no Hebrew thought in nothing in the New Testament.
No. I said Jeremiah 23:6.
Oh, Jeremiah. You got to read it. What did it say?
It's a lot that's going on right there. It's right after Jeremiah 22 when Jeconiah and stuff like that is being referred to, and then it say woe to the pastor, and then it's speaking about a future shepherd in prophecy, and it says this shepherd will be called by his name. The Lord is speaking, is saying the shepherd will be called by his name. Like what? Because and the only reason I'm saying that because I done been like I say, bro, I done been at a lot of combat spiritually, like self-conflict with understanding for years, because I done been through them all. I done looked into hadiths way back, you know what I'm saying? I done been into Egyptian mythology, Kemetic philosophy, African spirituality, all of it. And I see a lot of correlation, which is why I don't take away from either or, just because I might in one seat. That's one of the scriptures that helped me with my understanding of Christ when I was trying to make sure I was accepting the New Testament correctly, because it's not that I don't accept the whole New Testament. I don't even put it like that. I just know when to understand something is for narrative versus what to understand in that history or in the ministries of Christ that was actual teachings. Because you got a lot of just observation of his life, but it's certain teachings which is what led me to believe the spirit of the Lord was working through this person.
Right. Okay. I want to say this, because I don't want you to not mistake, but mistake what I'm saying. I don't want you to take what I'm saying the wrong way. I want you to take it the way that I intended, right? And what I did not intend was to turn you away from Jesus.
Oh no, for sure. I don't think that a
That was
person
not
could do that.
my
Just go.
intention. Hold up, before I go further, my intention was not even to really even harp on Jesus, but as much as to show you how I like DeAndre and I listen to him, but he's not the end all be all. That was my point in bringing him up, and I was showing you an example as to why I know he's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And that was the only reason why I brought that up. I did not bring that up I really didn't even want you to bring that up to even give you something to think about concerning Jesus. I was just up to show you that I found chinks in that man's armor.